Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And you know what we representing, that good old New York City. Tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a Msgr McClancy Memorial High School great. I met in the 80s as a teenager playing with Queens legend Robert Rebel Boyd, running Rebels, right? This basketball head was an all-around player with a smooth club jump shot and a tough defender. He had maximized his efforts in high school, garnering Hall of Fame status. He would do the same at Manhattan College. At Manhattan College, he earned a spot in the school's Hall of Fame and the 200 Club, being the only player in Manhattan College history with 200 assists, 200 rebounds, and 200 block shots at the guard position. Like I said, he had an all-around game. And along with those 200 assists, 200 rebounds, and 200 blocks, he added 1,000 points with that as well. This basketball head is also a transitional coach, a motivational speaker, and the author of a book called Transitional Game Plan. You can check him out weekly on Facebook Live with Transitional Tuesdays. Help me welcome to the show my guy and former teammate, Russ Williams.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
Well, spread the word to anybody who have an old Citywide shirt. I know you probably have one, Russ. I don't know where mine's at.
A Citywide AA shirt?
Yes.
Oh, man, I used to have all different colors, green, red.
Yeah. I used to collect them.
Yes, absolutely, Citywide AA.
Yes. So we're looking for that. My guy, Pat Alphonse, is looking for that right now. And he will give the person a brand new pair of Nikes if they could come off, with that shirt.
Man, oh man.
Listen, man, we in the business right now of preserving the history of the culture of basketball in New York City. Right? Because we are those guys now, right?
Yeah.
The guys used to look out for us and coach us. We're those guys now. And it would be sad for all of this history to kind of go to waste. I know Coach Wilbur, I'm trying to get in contact with him now. This guy, he keeps an extensive history of PSAL basketball on his website. It's called Wilbur.com, CoachWilbur.com.
Okay.
If you type that up, you can check out, he had like all the all-city players from like the 70s all the way down to like the 50s. And just a lot of the history, city championships. Now, of course, I'm trying to preserve it all, right? Catholic school, public school, all the guys we came up with and the guys who came before us. And then kind of get these new guys and kind of bridge the gap.
Right.
Right? Because somehow our stories are always being told by somebody else, and especially people who didn't play the game.
Yep, stories need to be told and not buried.
There you go.
Yes.
Listen, my old friend, my guy, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Long time, brother.
Long time no see, man. Glenn, man, this feels like a series of verses, man. It looks like, what's this, Strickland against Queens? This is verses, right? We're going to do a verses. We're going to do music. We're going to probably do ball. Let's do a verses out here, man.
This is what we do, man. This is what we do. We're well versed in that, man. I'm glad that you're healthy, man, and we can have this talk, man. because we shared some good times together back in the days, man.
No doubt about that, man. No doubt.
Yes, definitely. So I want to get right to it. My guys in the building, resident artists.
Yeah, what's your guy doing? He gonna draw a picture of me or something like that? What
That's what he does. He's an artist. Jamel Powell. He played at Jackson. He's a Queens guy.
Oh, there it is. All right. Here we go.
That's what we do here, man. I am Marcus. What's your basketball accolades, basketball head? Look, DM me. We'll talk about that. All right? If you want to know my basketball accolades, but trust me.
Glenn, tell him to Google. Tell him to Google you, man.
Listen, a lot of times Google can't even do the justice. I say talk to the people. Talk to the people who I interview, right? Because there's all 6 degrees of separation.
Yep.
But anyway, we're here to celebrate you, my brother. I'm here to give you your crown and your flowers and celebrate you tonight, brother.
I appreciate that, man. I can't wait to have some talk, man. It's always good to talk, Goose, man.
Definitely, man. So, first question of the night. Who introduced you to the game?
Man, my brother introduced me to the game. My brother's 11 years older than me. He introduced me to the game. He used to be a player. You know, he's played at Westside High School in Manhattan. You know, I was born and raised in Manhattan. Then we moved to Queens when I was 9 years old. But my brother introduced me to basketball, man. But I really fell in love with basketball when I watched Isaiah Thomas play against North Carolina in Indiana, 1981. That's the time I fell in love with basketball. That's what I knew. I fell in love with Isaiah Thomas. That's why I wore the number 11 in college. And, you know, but my brother introduced me to the game. My brother takes all the credit, man. My brother, he gets all the credit. My brother Ellis.
That's dope, man. Salute to Ellis, man.
Yes.
For being a big brother. That's right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What part of Queens did you guys move to?
We moved to Jackson Heights.
No doubt.
Yeah, I was born in Douglas Projects, man, in Harlem, 104th and Columbus Avenues. I was born there. We moved there till 9, and then 9 we moved here to Queens, up to Jackson Heights, man. So, yeah, man, it's been a journey, man. It's been a great journey.
What was the first team you remember that playing on?
All right, now. Douglas Projects when I was 8 or 9 years old. I was 6 years old. Pardon me, I was 6 years old. That's when I first started playing basketball. Douglas Projects. They had Saturday games every Saturday. I played in biddies, right? Biddy ball. And I remember every Saturday we played. And I remember the music was bumping. You know when they had the music out in the park and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember the song AJ by Curtis Blow. AJ.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. I remember that, man. So that was my first introduction to basketball. Every Saturday, man, in the tournament at Douglas Projects, man, in the community center.
That's dope, man. That's dope. And at that time in Douglas, do you remember who was the best player in the neighborhood that everybody kind of looked up to?
Yeah, back in the day, when my brother played with a guy named Reggie Carter. Reggie Carter starred at St. John's University. He's from
Reggie Carter was a beast.
Yes. Yep, he was one of the original guys from St. John's to do it. You know, so he was the guy. Yeah, but all the guys, you know, there's plenty of guys, man, out there who played, man. I mean, we had Darryl Walker played there, who played at Seton Hall. Who else? We had so many.
Darryl been on the show. We had Darryl on the show,
Yes, D. Walker, my man. Yes, man. Definitely. So, yeah, a lot of cats, man, guys you never even heard of, but these guys are nice. You know the deal is, man. You know, these guys be nice, man. You know, they might not have the name that we know of, but again, in these streets, when you see them play, man, they became the heroes for us. So, but there's a lot of guys. Man. Yep.
Hey, Mike Thompson's in the building. Yo, Mike, I got two drawings for you. 2, because you was one of the original ones my guy painted. And we want to make sure you're straight. So I think you get a painted one and a drawing one. Mike Thompson. Yeah.
That's Mike Thompson?
Yeah, he's in the building.
That Mike Thompson who went to Drexel? That Mike Thompson?
There you go. That's him.
I got a funny story about Thompson, man. Yo, he was gonna go to Manhattan College. I had him on my visit. You know, we took him on the night in the town, the whole 9. There's a story I know this is kind of PG here, but I can't share the story. But the story we had is kind of crazy. But
man, listen, this is basketball heads, man. This is part of our journey, man. So it's all good.
Yeah, but you got statute of limitations, you know, type of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know.
There we go. Hey, listen, the one thing we don't do, we don't shit on our players, and we don't bring up no negative press. That's one thing we don't do on basketball heads.
There you go. There you go,
That's
man.
what
But
we do,
I had him on my recruiting visit, man. I thought he was going to sign on the dotted line, man. He was from the Bronx. You know, he went to St. Ray's. And then he tilted us, and he went to Drexel. And he did great things at Drexel. But a shout out to my man, Mike Thompson.
Salute, definitely.
Yes, no doubt.
Great career.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, I always said this too, brother. You know, and we're going to get down in a few minutes, the Manhattan thing. But your choice, I always thought that was a great choice for you. Academically and basketball-wise. Because, you know, we talked to a lot of guys who didn't make the right basketball choice. Now, academically, while we go there, sometimes that works out. But sometimes we choose the wrong basketball school for us. Yeah,
that's true. You're right, Glenn, because coming out of high school, out of McClancy High School, I was going to go to Iona College. And I remember watching the NBA on CBS back in the day, right? I remember Dr. J was playing, Burr was playing. So I was like, you know what, man? I'm ready to sign with Iona. They've been recruiting me the whole nine. You know, I said, I'm ready to sign. So I remember calling up Coach Brokoff at the time. And I said, Coach, man, you know, hey, I'm ready to sign. And I remember Coach said to me, he says, well, Russ, he says, it's been a change of events, man. We're looking to go in another direction, man. And I was crushed, man. I was crushed. Iona crushed me, man. They broke my heart. And then, you know, word got back. I told my high school coach, Donnie Kent, what happened. And then next thing you know, the next day, it was a big article in the Post. They were talking about how Iona was recruiting this guy, Russ Williams, and they jilted him all of a sudden. So I didn't sign there, and then I signed with Manhattan College. But the moral of the story is with Iona College is, I remember hearing the story, and they recruited a guy by the name of Joe Johnson, and he signed with Manhattan College. I mean, he signed with Iona College.
Yeah.
So there was a story going around back in the day. It was like, Gary Brokaw told Joe Johnson, he said, listen, man, in practice, he says, listen, either you hustle or you get out of this building. He took the ball and he left, was never to be seen again. So they wasted that. And again, the funny story about that is I shared that story on my Hall of Fame speech at Manhattan College. And I said, you know, hey, look, if that was the case, I would have probably went to Iona. So I would never really start here at Manhattan College. But I used to remember when I used to play Iona, I used to give it to them and torch them every game.
Hey, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Let them know. Let them know. And if you would have went there, who knows if you would have put up those numbers? Who knows if you would have been in the Hall of Fame? Who knows?
Right. That's
you probably told your ass to get out.
Yeah, you're right, Glenn. There's a lot of times ballers, they make the wrong choice by going to the wrong school. Manhattan College was a perfect fit for me after that. You know, I was part of great success at Manhattan College. When I left there, we won the most games in the school history, 25 games at that time. You know, we went to the NIT, the whole nine and everything. So we really built the foundation there. So I was glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I still got my NIT ball as well, man. So let's back up a little bit. How was your time at McClancy, and did you feel like you accomplished all the things you wanted to do there?
I did. You know, first off, I went to Powell Memorial Academy my freshman year. You know,
hold on. Another basketball head moment right here. Listen, look, we the other day, just let everybody know, Russ Strickland went to Rice before he went to Truman.
I didn't know that.
See? Now, a lot of people didn't know you went to Powell Memorial before you went to McClancy. Let's hear about it.
Yes, you know, and speaking of Russ Strickland, yesterday on my show, Transition Tuesdays on Facebook Live, I had my old coach, Steve Lapis, who was the head coach for Russ Strickland at Truman.
That's right.
Yep, I had him on. Well, no, so I went to Powell Memorial that first year. And we had a squad, man. I'm telling you, my school closed after my freshman year. It was the last year, 1984. So we transferred out. But the team we had a crew, man. We had a powerhouse. We beat everybody by 30, 40. We lose in the championship game to Bishop Ford High School to a guy by the name of Harry Gordon. I don't know if you know Harry Gordon. Harry
Hey,
Gordon.
Harry Gordon's my man. Trust me, I
Yes.
just had Mercantino on here the other night. Harry Gordon's my guy.
Yes, we check this out, Glenn. We played them. We played Bishop Fort. We scrimmaged them maybe a month before the
Pat Burke was on that team as well.
Yes, Pat Burke, guy named Vince Jackson, he was on there too. I see him all the time on IG and Instagram, you know, on Facebook too. So again, we played them in the championship, but before that, we played them a month before. We beat them by 40. We beat them by 40 points. So here we are, 14, 13-year-old kids. You know, we're like, oh, we're getting the championship. We're gonna be a trivia question. We're gonna be the last team from Powell Memorial to win the championship. You know, we all hype, we all geesed up. You know, God, you know, stuff. And then, man, we lose to Bishop Ford, man. That was crushing, man. That was crushing. Yep. So after you know Powell Memorial closed, I transferred to Msgr McClancy, and like Msgr McClancy was maybe 20 minutes, not even like 10 minutes away from my house. But before I was going to go to McClancy, I got a chance to take a look at Malloy. I was going to possibly go to Malloy. I was going to go to Christ the King. You know, I did the touring, like the recruiting circuit before I went to McClancy, you know, and the thing for me was I wanted to be a part of a program that wasn't really established like your Malloys and your Christ the Kings. And I really wanted to make it major and build it up. And also I had my former my players from McClancy from Powell Memorial. I had my boy Derek Amelbert, who played with me at Powell Memorial, and my man Marlon Miller. You know,
Marlon Miller played with us. That's right. That's right.
Yes. Yep. So we all went to McClancy, man. So yeah, McClancy was a great experience, man. Especially my senior year. You know, which when we played when I was a senior, Kenny Anderson was a freshman at the time. That's when they won the state championship. But he was a freshman.
No, they didn't win the state championship that year because, well,
no, they did. They did.
Hold on. Maybe back up. Let me back up. What year was that?
That was 87.
Okay, 87. Okay, because 86 we had beat them in Glen Falls. So 87 the next year, I can see that. Yes.
Right. I like that little nudge too. I like that, Glenn. I like that. Y'all wasn't beating us. No, hold on, man. Different year.
I did not. Hey, by the way, Kenny's my guy. I had him on the show.
Yes.
A lot of respect for my guy. Yes.
Yes. That's the point guard. One of the point guards, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. But no, my senior year. So my senior year, his freshman year, but my senior year, we had a great year. We went to the semifinals of the city that year. And that year was one of, like, the CHSAA was one of the premier conferences, not only in New York City, but in the country. I mean, it was a great conference. You know, we wound up beating at Rose Hill Jill and Fordham University. We wound up beating St. Ray. St. Raymond's had a guy named Darryl Reed, a guy named Chucky Martin, you know, who's a coach now. They had Ed Rivera. They had a whole bunch of cats on who played at UTEP. They had a 16-game winning streak. And us, the little school that could, Msgr McClancy, knocked them off, man, which was crazy. And to this day, I talk to Chuck Martin all the time. To this day, Chuck is always like, yo, man, Russ, I still can't believe y'all cats beat us, man, at St. Ray's. I still can't believe it, you know what I mean? So we had a great year, phenomenal year. We ran into a buzzsaw. We played Cardinal Hayes when my man Ramses Kelly was there and my man Jamal Walker. Oh my God, those two cats. So we ran into the buzzsaw and they gave it to us that semifinal game. But my experience at McClancy, man, was memorable. You know, I'm fortunate enough to be inducted to the Athletic Hall of Fame there, Msgr McClancy. Great school. You know, I try to visit it often, go to alumni games and stuff like that. But yeah, had a phenomenal experience at Msgr McClancy High School in Queens.
Nice. Who was you guys' toughest competition back then?
Man, you had Malloy, Christ the King. Jamal Faulkner was the guy at Christ the King back in the day. He went to Alabama.
No, did he go to, he went to Arizona State, didn't Alabama, right?
Yes, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yes, he did.
Yes.
You had absolutely. You had St. Francis Prep was tough. That whole league was tough. Holy Cross High School, my man Ken Boyer, who I played with him at Manhattan College. He starred there at Holy Cross. Shout out to him. Yeah, man, the CHSAA was tough from top to bottom, man. It was really tough. One of the premier leagues in the country.
New York City as a whole was tough back then. Because every team had 3 or 4 good players who could have went anywhere and played and starred. right?
Yeah,
And it wasn't
that's
just
true.
about having that one guy. You know, some teams maybe had that one guy, but trust me, it was 3 or 4 other guys who could give the business as well.
Yeah, and we used to always give it the business to PSAL teams too. So like teams like Lincoln and stuff like that, you know.
When? Because I want to know. Not during my era.
I'm just throwing out stuff. I know this is versus, man. This is versus.
I know. I was like, woo. We listen, bro. We did pretty well, man. We did pretty well.
You did, man.
We met playing with Robert Boyd, right? On the Running Rebels.
Right.
Kind of brought us together, and we played in some summer leagues.
Yeah.
I remember playing against some very good competition out in Queens, because that was my time getting exposed to Queens, playing in Lost Battalion, right?
Yeah.
Playing in different tournaments, playing in different parks, Elm Corps, citywide, and those different things. And I know for us to play together, because we had similar kind of games.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yours is much better than mine. Yours is much better than mine. I'm gonna keep it real, man. You was much better than me, Glenn. I was backing you up, my man. We're gonna keep it real, man.
But here's the deal, Russ. Very solid, man. And the things I remember about you is always being tough. Having that great pull-up jump shot, never backing down from a challenge, right? And being dependable. So even whether you backed me up or whether we played together, we was able to coincide on the court. Yeah. Because sometimes it's hard to do when somebody's a little similar to your style.
That's true. You're right. You're right. You know what I really remember about those games there, man, Glenn, was I remember my man Mo Curry, man. Mo, you know Mo Curry? You know what I mean? God bless
Curry,
him, man.
rest in peace. Yes, definitely my guy. Yep.
Rest in peace to that man. I remember playing against him, and he was a point guard, a big ass point guard. You know, I just remember that, man.
Yes. Slow. Knocking you down. You ain't gonna rip him, cause he had that hand and that shoulder. He could use that body well.
Yes, he did. Yep, he used it well, man. Yeah, he had that Brooklyn. You guys all had that Brooklyn toughness, man. That's one thing we ain't have in Queens. We were tough, but it's nothing like a Brooklyn tough cat. Cats from Brooklyn is tough, man.
Man, because we were just beating on top of each other, man. We got the great Bobby Hunter, Globetrotter great in the building.
Wow. Nice.
Right? He just let me know Seward Park beat Lincoln in 1957 and go to Madison Square Garden. Salute, OG. Salute. I can't even say that, OG. Not at all. 1957? Woo!
Wow, man. That's good memory.
Yeah. We won a championship, I think, in 1946. Back then. And then we won the first one in the modern era in 86.
Right.
So that was the first time Lincoln won, and then 14 after that. So that was a good run.
Hey, Glenn, so when you won in 86, Tiny was on your team, right? Tiny Moore, right?
Tiny Moore was my point guard. Tiny Moore and Sean Williams, Bernard Mitchell, Dave Adabanjo, Josie Watkins.
Dave Adabanjo. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, man.
And no one was all city on that team.
Really? Wow. That's a team.
Yep. Yes. Yes. We was led by the great Bobby Hartstein. Great coach.
Hey, I'll tell you a story, man. After I finished up playing basketball, you know, I went to work for Johnston's for 15 years. And one of my accounts, because I did the class rings, cap and gowns and everything, I did championship rings. Right. And my first championship ring I did was at Lincoln High School for Steph Marbury.
Wow.
I did that first ring. And again, I'll share a little story with you, Glenn. You know,
listening.
He had all his brothers. They never won a championship. He finally wins the championship, right? So we do the championship rings for them. I remember I brought the rings to the school, and I remember I forget the principal at the top of my head, but he was a good dude. I bring it to his office, right? And then next thing you know, Steph walks in there. What Steph does, he barricades himself between us and the desk. He takes out the rings and he says, man, I told you I was going to win this. I told you I was going to win this, man. He was so happy because all that weight of his brothers not getting it, all that pressure, he finally got one. Man, that was the first one. So I did his championship ring. Also did the rings for Bassey. I did the rings for them. You know, I did all the championship rings for them. I did the rings for Lance Stevenson. Did all the rings for Tiny Morton. And my man Tiny is a character, man. I got to share another story about Tiny, man. Another story about Tiny. I had him on my show Transition Tuesdays, right? So I told Tiny, okay, man, yo, you guys got a sponsor to pay for the rings. You know, you guys don't have to pay, you know, put out any money to pay for the rings, right? So Tiny tells me, he says, Russ, he said, that's cool, man. Well, first of all, I said to him, I said, yeah, you're going to get championship rings. You're going to get a different alloy, a different metal called white lustrium. It looks very similar to white gold, but it's called white lustrium, right? So inexpensive, cheaper metal. So Tiny says, okay, cool. He says, yo, Russ, here's what I want you to do, man. I want you to look outside that window right now. I said, Tiny, what are you talking about? What, you want me to look outside the window? He says, listen, man, I want you to look outside the window, right? And when you look outside the window, you're going to see across the street, you're going to see an Escalade parked right across the street, right? That's my car. I don't wear white lustrium. I said, Tiny, my man.
That's Dwayne Morton for you.
That's Dwayne Morton. I said, Tiny, check this out here, man. I said, Tiny, yo, you got a sponsor paying for the ring. And if he paying for white lustrium, that's what you're going to wear, white lustrium. But Tiny came with that story. He said, I don't wear white lustrium. You think I'm from Brooklyn, man. Y'all don't wear no white lustrium.
Let me tell you something. Tiny, the only coach I know that be in the city championship game with all Gucci down.
Yes.
From head to toe, let's do it.
Yep.
So
down
he has a certain way. Hey, listen, he have a certain way of doing things. So salute to him.
Yes.
Definitely. So who did you pattern your game after?
Oh man. Well, I wasn't as good as him, but Isaiah Thomas, I love to pattern my game after him. I like guys who can get in the lane, penetrate, and dish because I came up as a point guard. You know, I converted to a 2-guard in college. But
Jeffrey was a point guard,
You know who I used to love? I used to love 2 guards, and they did play for the Knicks. I used to love Ray Williams back in the day. Ray Williams, remember?
He was tough. He was tough.
Yeah. He revolutionized. They asked him one time, hey, what position you play? He said, I play power guard. That's what I play. So Ray Williams, big boy. Ray Williams, you know, Gus Williams was brother to Mount Vernon High School, you know. But again, so he was one I really liked too. But I used to love Michael Ray Richardson. Michael Ray Richardson was another big guard, you know, could give you buckets, great player. So I like those guys. I like Sidney Moncrief. I liked all those type of guys in the 80s, stuff like that. You know, Magics, you know, your Jordans, what have you. But Isaiah Thomas was the guy for me. I patterned my game after Isaiah Thomas. I wasn't as good as Isaiah Thomas, but again, I used to be out there in the park. When I remember when he came out and did underneath his arm and made that shot. I said, I got to try that. Yeah, I used to do that. So yeah, I used to idolize Isaiah Thomas and try to pattern my game after Isaiah.
How did playing in New York make your game so much better?
Man, you know what? It made you tougher. And shout out to my brother again, because at a young age, my brother knew that, hey, look, I had some talent. You know, when I was in 8th grade, I was considered the best player in Queens at 8th grade.
Wow.
So my brother used to take me to other courts throughout the whole 5 boroughs. I mean, we used to go to Manhattan, used to go to Brooklyn, Bronx, even Staten Island, you know, and my brother was doing that to really make me tougher because he knew that I had to have a toughness, you know, going on to the next level. So I think New York, it prepares you mentally, physically, emotionally when you're playing ball here in New York City. You know, it's nothing like it. I mean, it's a little bit different now, but back then, back in the days when we played, you know, it was that New York mentality. You know, people saw that. People knew you were a baller from New York City. The way, the swag that you had, the different mentalities that you had, you know, they knew that. So it makes you New York tough, man. Basketball makes you New York tough here when you play it here in New York.
Definitely. I like that. Makes you New York tough. I like that. Yep. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. New York tough.
Yep.
I'll write that down. That's right.
Hey, speak, you know, we're doing verses. I think I won that particular round. I think I won that round. Queens won that round. Stand up.
Yeah, you got that. You got that. You got that. All right. Here you go right now. Question. Who asked did you bust to let you know you was one of the top players in the city?
I knew. Okay, so let me take it away from New York. All right, because
hey, we can take that's right. That's right. We can take it from New York. There you go.
I want to take it away from New York. I knew I was nice, at least in my head. When in high school, when Monsignor McClancy, when we went to Hawaii to play in the tournament, who was playing in that tournament? A guy named Mark Tillman, who played at Georgetown. Dennis Scott was in that tournament. You got Aaron Bain, who played at Villanova. The kid, he played at UCLA. He was a tall white kid. I forget his name, but Darren McLean. He played at UCLA. I knew I was nice because I got all tournament in that particular Iolani Classic in Hawaii. I said, when I got that and I was on my way back home, I said, okay, I think I'm nice now. I think I'm ready to roll now. Let's do it.
That's real. That's real. Yep. Hey, you know when you arrive, when they put you in a class of players who you already know they going somewhere. Yes. If I can get in with them, wow, I'm on that same road.
Absolutely. And then you add that New York City toughness we talk about, that New York toughness.
That New York toughness. That's right. That was it.
Yep, watch out. Everybody watch out.
Wow. So besides Iona, who are some of the other schools that was recruiting you?
Early on, I had Wake Forest, New Mexico, Fairfield. Cause I see like Fairfield recruited everybody their mother. They gave letters, they gave letters to everybody, I think. So we ain't gonna count Fairfield. Cause Bryant
University gave out 700 offers to 8th graders a couple of weeks ago, all across the country.
Wow, man, oh man, that's crazy.
Let's stay on you, Russ. Let's stay on you right now, brother.
Yep, yeah, man. Who else? New Mexico was early too, so all these schools was early. I wanted to stay home. Niagara was one. That was my first recruiting visit when they came into the home. Yeah, but I kind of wanted to stay locally. I didn't really want to travel really far. I wanted to get my family get a chance to see me play. So, but those were the list of schools that I had on the table.
Yeah, I besides Manhattan, you have some other schools in there, but I would have saw Niagara being a good fit for you as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Knowing what I know now, it's like hindsight 2020, and I always tell kids, you got to talk to your older guards. You got to talk to the people who've been there. Right? Yeah. Because they'll tell you. I told people a long time ago when Isaiah, what's his name? Whitehead? Not Whitehead. Washington, Jelly fan.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, yeah. Yep.
When I heard he was going to Minnesota to the Big Ten, I just was like, why? Just for New York's sake. We don't go to the Big Ten.
Right. That's true.
That's a football conference.
Yeah.
And everybody is like this, even the basketball players.
Everybody's diesel. Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's diesel. And I said we can't do well, but we do well other places.
Yep, that's true.
I don't know what happened with that young man, but I know even before he got there, I was saying,
yeah.
Nah.
And you know what too, Glenn? So from there he transferred because he didn't get along with Rick Pitino's son. So
who was that, Minnesota?
Yeah. Then he transfers to Iona, plays for 1 year, and then now Pitino, the dad, is at Iona, so he leaves there.
No, I heard word got to him. Somebody got to go.
So I
got a contract. And I got a contract. Yeah, he's gone.
So he gonna play somewhere, you saying, like overseas?
I don't know, but he can't play for Iona. He had to leave.
Wow. Man. Yep. It's all about the right fit, like you said, man.
It's about the right fit. That's so important. That's so important. Because, and we'll get to that transitional part where you're an expert at. right? Because I think that's what a lot of guys fall into when they get to that point and they don't know which way to go after that because the ball didn't work out.
That's true. That's true. Hey, Glenn, speaking of transition, how's my artist doing back there? He's painting me pretty good back there. What's he got back there, man? He got it, boy?
I think since you down in his verses, he just got your name spelled out. He ain't even get to you yet.
Oh, man. All right. We're going to get to that. I got more stuff in the bag. Don't worry about it.
Look. He don't like me interrupting him when he draws, so I got to stay here until like that show.
I'll let him live.
That's all good. That's all good. Yeah. So, who are some of the guys you played with at Manhattan?
You had, well, my boy who's on here now, Chris Williams. He was one of my, that's my brother, man, from another mother, man. Chris Williams from Philadelphia. He came in when the machine was low. He came in there. He got a championship, a MAC championship at Manhattan College. He's doing great things. So he's one. Guy Keith Bullock, who at the time became the all-time leading scorer, played with him.
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah.
Carrie Wilson, Carrie Evans, both guys from renowned programs in Connecticut. They came and they did so well there. My boy, God bless the dead, Greg Rock. I don't know if you remember Greg Rock from Talent Time. He played at Talent Time.
Yes, definitely Greg Rock.
Played with him as well. My boy Kenny Boy, who I mentioned earlier from Holy Cross High School. We played with each other. My man Billy Wheeler, a Brooklyn guy who played with Mark Jackson. And
he played a lot with James Mason in them. Yeah.
They won a city championship. My man, I played with Bill Wheeler for 1 year. So with some great players at Manhattan College, man. Some great people and some great friends of mine to this day.
That's great, man. Look, 1992. Special year, our senior year. We actually went to the NIT that year as well. And we had, I think, a winning streak of maybe 23 or 24 games. So we was doing well at 92. But you guys, that 25-game run, tell me about that year and what made it so special.
Man, I tell you, man, what made it special, man, that was a special year because at first, man, we were winning games and stuff like that. And I shared the story yesterday on my show, Transition Tuesdays, when I had Coach Lapis on. Now, here I was now, Glenn. You got to beat this, man. So the year before, my junior year, I averaged like 14 points a game, right? So, like, my senior year, Coach calls me into his office, and he goes, hey, Russ, man. He says, man, check this out. He says, listen, man. He says, we know you can score points. But, he says, you're the only guy on the team that could get in the lane, New York tough, can get in the lane, can create for myself, can create for others. And he told me, he says, listen, man, if you can do this, we are going to take off. So, I'm going to leave it up to you what you want to do. And I remember going back to my dorm room, Glenn, I said, man, what is this coach doing? Man, it's my senior year.
It's my time to shine. Right.
I know I ain't going to the league, but I think I got an opportunity to make some money overseas, man. Can you coming to me with this? But then I got a chance to think about it. I was like, here's my coach. He came to me and he told me, he's like, listen, man, you have the ability to make your teammates better. And if you do that, you decide to take this challenge, we're going to win some games. And I did decide to do that, and we were winning some games. One thing I'm proud about that year, we were 25-9. We never lost 2 games in a row. We won like 12, 14 games in a row at one stretch. And it was our first MAC regular season championship we got there that year. And again, we went to the quarterfinals of the NIT. My boy Chris was on here now. We played Rutgers, and Chris made a winning layup for us to win that game. We played Wisconsin, Green Bay. Yeah, we played Wisconsin, Green Bay at Dratty. And, it was scalping tickets, man, for people to get in the game. And that comes from a long stretch. When I first came to Manhattan College, I was in the era of one bleacher there, Glenn. It was just one bleacher. It was just for, like, the fans, the family and friends, and the custodial staff. That was it. That was all the people there, right? So my freshman year to my senior year was they literally scalping tickets to the NIT game. And we wound up playing Wisconsin, Green Bay. Guy by the name of Tony Bennett, who coaches University of Virginia now, right? He was a great player. He was a great player that, against Wisconsin, Green Bay. Matter of fact, he was supposed to not even play in that game. He had back spasms. but he wound up playing that game. He scored like 39 points that game. But
Damn.
yeah, but what we did was at the end of the game, both carries, Carrie Edwards, Carrie Wilson, they trapped Tony Bennett. They got the steal. Carrie Edwards went down and flushed it at the buzzer, and we win the game. So,
wow.
you know, so yeah, so we did that, played those 2 games, and then I finished my college career at University of Notre Dame. We lost to LaFonso Ellis and those guys. So, you know, it was a hell of a run for Manhattan College, man. It really planted the seed for success, what was about to come. That year was the turning point of that program when we went 25-9 in 1992.
Salute, salute.
Yeah,
that's dope, man. My guy, Rick Combs, who played for Wagner, he said when he played against y'all, they had one bleacher. He confirmed it.
See,
he said,
they
had a guard from New Jersey that was one of their best players. We got his name, but he was nice.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it's probably Ed Lawson, I bet, because Ed Lawson was from New Jersey. It's probably Ed Lawson. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was another great guy I played with as well, man. Yeah, man. So, you know, I was happy to be a part of something special, you know, and that was the plan for me. Again, I wanted to go to somewhere at college where I can grow, you know, make it like a renaissance, you know, because back in the days, in the 50s and 60s, Manhattan College was a powerhouse, you know, here in New York City. You know what I mean? So I was glad to get that resurfacing of a program. And guys like Carrie Wilson, Carrie Edwards, Keith Bullock, Chris Williams, these guys took it to the next level. Because when they came, they were very similar to, like, we called them like the Fab Five of the, we called them like that. Yeah, and they really changed the program. But I think my senior year, we really planted the seeds for the program to grow.
That's super amazing, man.
Yep.
And did Manhattan College provide anything outside of basketball and books that you still remember?
Well, I mean, they gave me, I earned it. I'm not gonna say they gave me nothing, but you know, I earned my diploma in business management. You know, they gave me the knowledge and skill to do that. You know, they helped me transition to do other things. But no, it's just something I earned, which was my degree. You know, a lot of players don't graduate, unfortunately, and I was one who graduated. I remember what Gary Brokoff told me, even though I didn't go there, but his words really rang true to, you know, what I thought about me graduating. He said to me, he says, you know, hey, if you come to Iona or not, he says, just remember this. He says, you use the college or university that you go to. Don't let the school use you, you know, because there's going to be another Russ Williams, you know, as soon as you leave. You know, the doors don't close after you graduate, you know what I mean? So you got to use the college university. All its resources, you know, all its availabilities, you got to use them. Don't let the school use you.
And that's what some of the things I was saying, right? Just outside of books and ball, what else can your school provide for you, right? Can they provide you that emotional stability? Can they provide you that freedom to make connections and meet people, right? And grow as a person? All of those things are something that's outside of basketball and books that help shape us as people.
Yeah, and you're right about that too, Glenn. And like we talk about, like, the connection. So like the alumni base, you know, connecting with them. I've had the great pleasure. I'm on the Manhattan College Alumni Society. I'm the second VP there. I just got elected second VP as the Alumni Society.
All right, good job.
I appreciate that. Yeah, but it's all about the networking, like you talked about. You know, how you can network with your fellow people who graduated from the alumni. That's so critical. That's what kids need to think about, you know, when they're making a choice for college. How is the networking for the alumni? How is that? You know, when you're done playing ball, when the ball stops, you know what I mean? Can you make those relationships to, you know, and transition to doing something different, which is the most important thing. So these are all the things that they have to do. So I think Manhattan College, they did a good job with that as well.
Salute Manhattan College. You know, as I speak to a lot of different ball players and their transitional part from basketball to real life, a lot of them find it, not say a lot of them, but some find it difficult. Right, to transition, that transitional part. Can you explain to the audience what does it mean to be a transitional coach and what made you get into that field?
Yeah, sure. You know, I've been transitioning all my life, and again, we all transition. We all transition from something to something. So my lifetime mission is like to be that transitional coach for to help student athletes, not only in high school transition to college, but for those college athletes to transition to careers. So, you know, I really make it a mission of mine as a transition coach. You know, I feel so strongly about the area of transition. I wrote a book, Transition Game
Yeah.
Plan. I got it right here. Let me see if I can find it here. Transition Game Plan, Simple Steps to Achieving Personal Success. I wrote a book about it. So, you know, transition is what it is for me. You know, I'm here to assist and help people because, like you said, Glenn, that transition is very difficult, man, especially as a student athlete, you know, and you just need the resources to help you with that. Like for me, I help develop game plans for people in their transitions, you know, develop a game plan. And it's things I call them game plan steps, your GPSs. With these GPSs and a game plan, I can help you get to your transitional success. So that's what I'm all about.
That's awesome, Russ. That's awesome right there, man. Look, my sponsor is Game Over, right?
Oh.
They're a grassroots basketball program here in Brooklyn. They have a gym called the Sty Dome, and the founder is Eric Hicks, who used to play for State Bonaventure.
Right, okay.
One of his main things when he first started the company was what was going to happen to his life after the game was over.
Right.
So he started his own business as a service to kids. He run basketball camps. He's actually having a basketball tournament in Co-op City this weekend. And he patented and created his own trophy. This is his Game Over trophy. So if you see this trophy online, a lot of famous people got it.
I've never seen that. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is his trophy.
Wow.
Okay. Yes. So it's all part of that whole transitional game, right? Transition to the next part of life, which you just wrote a book. Please, I would love to support it and promote it for sure.
Okay.
Get it out there. You know what I mean?
And you know what too, Glenn? I would love, hey man, if I got a chance, I would love to speak to him, and I would love to speak to his players too. You know, helping them with their transition. You know, for life, maybe after basketball, or like they got young kids, so maybe their transition from like middle school to high school, and from high school to college, because they're gonna need to have that transition.
We can make that happen, man.
Okay.
We can definitely make that happen. Yeah. My guy, let me see, he said, look at Marcus Watson, excellent guard out of BK. Won a chip with Jeff. Okay, it's my guy, excuse me. Rick Holmes.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get back. So I have a James Majors question, right?
Okay.
James Majors went to Seton Hall.
Seton Hall.
Definitely. Seton Hall, great, right?
Yep.
So, hold on for a second. Let me get this straight. All right. Okay. So, James Majors said that when they used to go on a road trip, they used to get $5 for meal money.
You all right?
For the weekend. Or $5 a day. $5 a day. Now, I said, damn, James, I'm at Fairleigh Dickinson, and we getting $300 to $500 a trip.
You're right.
Because that's in the budget. This is not anything illegal. Russ, how much was you guys getting on the road?
I was probably say that amount you said, $200, $300. But hey, I want to share this with you, Glenn. This was my New York hustle, what I used to do in terms of when we used to have recruits up, right?
Oh, yes.
Right. So check out this hustle. We probably had the same hustle, Glenn. Watch this, right? So
yes, we did.
It, right? So I used to always want to host, right? Host the recruits. Because I knew the coaches used to hit us off with money. And then, like, for example, if I tell a recruit, man, yo, tell coach that you're hungry, man. You said, coach, I'm hungry. So coach would give us like $100, $200. So I said, okay, you hungry, my dude? Let's go to McDonald's down the block, man. Go to McDonald's, hit them up with $20 there, keep the 80 for me. That
Yo, brother,
for the college.
people, if y'all didn't know, that was the hustle. And
That was
since
awesome.
we get a kid coming from like the Midwest or
Oh,
the West Coast, we'll
Oh.
take his ass to New York. We'll
Yeah,
take him to New
that's
York, take him to some club, spend a couple of dollars on him, and tell him to order everything for the hotel so he can bill the coaches and not us.
there
We
you
keep the
go.
rest of the money.
There you go. That New York hustle. There you go.
That's it right there. I just said PJ Carlissimo was pocketing the money. That's
It
it.
had to be. Had to be. He was getting that Nike money, that car dealership money, and the players' money. He's pocketing all that.
Oh man, that's crazy, yo. So what made you start doing your show, Transitional Tuesdays, on Facebook?
Wow. When I was living in New Orleans, I lived in New Orleans for 8 years with my then wife and my kids. And, you know, I did the book and I was like, you know, I was looking at all these things. I was like, you know what? I like to do a show and talk about some transitional things. And hey, look, you know, I'm experiencing that. So I said, let me just go on, let me try it on Facebook Live and try to do it. And then 3 years later, I'm still here doing it, man. You know,
Wow.
it's a show, you know, Transition Tuesdays, you know, my motto is, you know, we try to have, you know, engaging conversation about life's transitions, you know, so we talk about that. You know, I have guests on the show, you know, I hope to have you on there, Glenn. I got to get you on my show, man, you know, so.
I will support you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. So, you know, it's been a great thing, a great thrill, helping people out with their transitions. You know, if I'm able to help them, assist them, give them some GPSs, some game plan steps, you know, entertain, have some little entertainment, you know, and they can learn some along the way, man. Because it's all about transitioning. We all transition. You know, transitions can be big or small. We all do it. It's all about how you handle it. It's all about having a successful and a smooth transition. And, you know, that's my goal. That's what I try to do, man. I'm just having a ball doing it.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure, you know, just sitting and talking with you, brother, because I didn't see you. Bro, we didn't have all this gray. Well, last time we saw each other, we didn't have all this gray.
I have a box haircut, you know what I mean?
Right. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, man.
So this has been a good thing. I started Basketball Heads during the pandemic. My best friend's been telling me they've been trying to talk me into doing a show for a long time. And I was just letting it fall on deaf ears until you stuck in the house.
Right.
And I got so much creative energy and creative juice. It was just like, okay, let me just give it a shot.
Right.
And here we are today, still going strong. And hopefully I'll be doing 3 years like you, brother.
Oh, no, it's coming, man. It's coming. We might have to collabo, too. We might do a Basketball Heads meets Transition Tuesday something, man. We might have to do something,
brother,
man.
Whatever you want to do, man, listen, for the relationship that we have and we had back then, man, whatever you want to do, man, I'm just a phone call away.
Cool, man. Cool. Hey, Glenn, before I leave, though, before you get me off of here, man.
We got some time. We got some time.
All right, so now this is like kind of like a versus format that we got. We got Brooklyn up top, we got Queens on below. Now, I wanna, you know, let's have a little versus in terms of like Brooklyn versus Queens. We could do it hip hop, or we could do it players, or both ways. How you want to do it, Glenn?
Well, listen, Russ. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Did you know I stopped playing ball around 20-something? My mom's passed away right after college, 4 months after I graduated college.
Oh, I know that, man. I hear that.
Yeah, kind of fell out of love with the game.
Yeah.
And one of my good friends, AD Money, who was in a group rapping his fundamental with Easy Mo B.
Oh, I remember them. Yes. Yeah, I remember them. Yes.
So those are my guys, right?
Okay.
So we're gonna talk hip hop for a second.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right? Now I know Queens get the money.
Yes, right.
Right? But at the end of the day, all the GOATs come from Brooklyn. Jay-Z, Biggie Smalls, When you talk about GOATs. Now, y'all got Nas. I give y'all that. Y'all got Nas.
Give us Nas. Yes, give us
Y'all got Nas. And look, y'all have the most successful hip-hop artists in New York City as a whole.
This is true. This is true. You got Tribe Called Quest. You got who else you got? You got Run DMC.
Run DMC. You got Lord of the Underground. You got a whole bunch of people. Yes. Yes. But nothing. Yes. Great artists.
Yes.
But no Biggie, no Jay.
Yeah, I know. And you can throw in Fab. You can throw in Fab.
Y'all can keep throwing out all the rappers in the world. Okay, we got Biggie and Jay.
That's it. Enough said. Let's move on.
But Russ, the intro song that you hear, that's me.
That's you?
Yes.
Oh man, Glenn. I never knew.
And I have a whole album. I have a whole album produced by Easy Mo B that's never been released.
And Easy Mo B was great with Biggie. I mean, what song he had with Biggie? He's come with a number.
He got 5 songs on the first album. He got Warning, The What?
Yes.
He got Ready to Die, Machine Gun Funk.
Yes.
And
man.
he has another one. He also did I'm Going Back to Cali, and he did I Love the Dough with him and Jay-Z. Now let me give you a story. So as he's programming the beat to I Love the Dough, it's me, him, my man Carlos. And then it was Biggie and Gunna, and the engineer. Those are the only people in the studio. Big is talking to me about his situation with Faith and how he can't see his child at the time, right? And I've never seen or heard of a guy who was like the #1 star in the world at that time.
Yes. He's
confessing to me about how hurt he was for not being able to see his son. Then he asked me if I had children, and if I'm gonna decide to have children, make sure it's the woman I'm gonna want to be with for the rest of my life, because it's gonna affect you how it's affecting me right now.
Wow. Man.
Blew me away. Blew me away.
Man.
All right, I got another story for you.
Okay, man.
I'm at the legendary Big Daddy Kane's house, just chilling.
Forgot Kane too. Kane is one of the legends too.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, I got you.
Oh yeah, here's the guy who I used to have on my wall in college, right?
Yes, Kane.
Kane, of course, AB Money, that whole connection. And there's Kane was just recently on Sway's show, and he mentioned the time that,
I heard that show too. What are you about to say?
Right. So he talks about hanging with some guys and used to rapping with some guys, and he knew that he wasn't up to par anymore because these guys was rapping way better than him. That was us. Right? So we at Kane House. Who knocks at the door? Oh, now I gotta come back for this one because we're running out of time. I'm gonna come back because I got another great story for you. This next story might just blow your mind for real.
Okay, all right. Because these stories that you're telling me now is blowing my mind, man.
It's a lot of things that people don't even know about me. They know about the basketball side.
Right.
And the people who know about me in the music side don't know anything about the basketball side. It's crazy.
Wow, and I had no idea.
What's happening?
Hey, we lost the feed though, man. You was playing some music?
I was playing my song. I was playing the intro. That's the intro.
Oh man. All right.
All right, so I'll give you some. I'm gonna play it back.
Okay.
I'll play it back.
Chaos. Where everybody goes.
And my guy Live made the beat.
Go hard. Go hard.
Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. West Go hard. 30-30. Everybody get on. The game about to start. start, no time to kick it in. Run to your seat, set the time arena. Lace up my sneakers, change up my demeanor. Come put the plan together, build a team up. We go hard, let the team come between us. We the reason why this in the park road lounging with my feet up. So it's time to turn the heat up. This is my house, you can't defeat us. No way in hell, my niggas is on the bell. When the crowd get involved, we go hard and we killing them. That's why they killing us.
Hey man, listen.
And that's
That record is over 10 years old.
And that's
I did that record not knowing. Yes, that's me all on vocals. That's me. Trust me. I will not lie to you. I see you some records and you be like, serious? So let me finish with the story, right?
All right, cool.
So we all at Big Daddy Kane's house.
Okay.
Kane is cooking dinner as he usually is. When we come over, Kane, let me explain something to you. You know how you meet someone you look up to and they're like totally opposite than what you think they are?
Right.
How you see Kane, that's how he is.
Wow.
He is what you think about being cool, right?
Right. Yes.
All of those things that what we consider to be cool, fly, very humble, very humble. So he comes, we over his house and there's a knock at the door. Go to the door, see who it is. It's JD and the Rangers.
Wow.
Like, yo, Kane, Jay here. You know what I'm saying? Jay comes in, we chilling, we all relaxing. Right. Jay comes over because he's going to Stretch Armstrong and Barbito show. Right? Legendary. Another legendary.
Legendary. Yes.
So Kane says to him, I'll go, but my guys are here. Jay go, bring them. Word? Cool. Now, I'm going to give you my possession of JB. I've been around him a couple of times.
Okay.
Very humble brother who knows who he is. It's a difference between a lot of guys who front. Yeah, and Jay was a little bit older, so you wasn't catching him young. He was already a little older, so he kind of knew who he was.
Right.
And he was explaining to Kane how they was going to move into a different direction and go independent. Kane, who was handling a lot of his projects before, was like, yo, I'm sorry I couldn't able to get you signed because the labels were not trying to sign you at the time. Right. He was like, cool. So we go up to Columbia. We got to wait outside to get in. That's the process when you're going up there. They got to send somebody downstairs, so you're downstairs for almost a half an hour. So we downstairs, and what we decide to do, we play some music. Okay. Jay puts in the tape. It's him and Foxy, Ain't No Nigga Without the Hook. Wow. And he's explaining to us how Jazzo played the whole beat all the way through. A famous thing that they talk about now. Jazzo played the whole beat all the way through, and Jazzo also sung the hook because they couldn't get the person who they wanted to sing it. Man, that's crazy. So we met Jay that night, being with Big Daddy Kane. So man, hey Glenn, man, you know how you had Straight Outta Compton, like the movie, like Straight Outta Compton, right? Now here's an idea I got. Speaking of Kane, wouldn't you like to see a movie about Kane versus Rakim? Because they were both, they both compared both guys. You know, people did. You know, who was the bigger cat? Who had the better lyrics? They always be intertwined. I would like to see Kane, his perspective about what he thought of Rakim, what Rakim thought of him, because I heard they got in, like, you know, it was like people thought they was beefing and stuff like that, but they had so much respect for each other. But I would love to see Kane and Rakim, like something like a movie like that, man, Doc, something. So I'm gonna drop a little jewel on you. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you what song it is,
Okay.
but I'm gonna tell you. There's a song on the internet that Rakim did dissing Kane, right?
Oh.
And this is back in the days.
Right.
And Kane also, it wasn't direct, it was a lot of indirect. And they were doing a lot of the smooth operator operating correctly, right? All that. So those little jabs that they were poking at each other. Kane made a record that probably would have kind of ended Rakim's career. And Eric, I think him and Eric was cool. Eric B was cool. And they poked it out. And Kane deaded the record. And then Rakim, who also had something, deaded it as well. See, they had people who were in between each other that were cool.
Right.
And it was a lot of the outside stuff.
Yeah, it always is.
I don't know Rakim, but I know Kane. Kane is going to be on his shit regardless, right? Yep. But he's never disrespectful.
Yeah, Yeah, man. Kane, man.
Disrespectful.
Kane, man. Yo, Kane, what, his nickname was Dog Gable? Yo, man, Kane was that guy. Hey, Glenn, you can vouch for this. Kane was the guy, he was smooth with the ladies, but he was cool with the dudes. He was one of those guys, you know? He was that guy. Like LL, but like him, he's like one of these only guys. You know what I mean? He can get down with the ladies, but again, he can get down with the fellas too, you know? Man, he's tough.
You know, LL favorite rapper is Kane.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He says it all the time. And I'm gonna tell you how much of a great person that LL is. He gave guys like Kane, Roxanne Shante, Biz Markie, and a couple of other few old school cats a part of his radio station.
Yeah, man, Rock the Bell, serious, I got it. Yes. Yeah, man.
So this is how we're all intertwined. One more story. One more hip-hop story.
One more story. You got that big one. Yes. So far, you up in verses so far. Brooklyn's up. I'll give you that. Let's go.
I think after this, I'm gonna drop the mic.
Okay.
So there's a famous record out there called "Running from the Police," featuring Tupac, Stretch, the Outlaws, and a guy named Biggie, and an unknown reggae artist named Brown Man.
Okay.
Now, the record was produced by Easy Mo B, and originally had Little Vicious on the hook.
Little Vicious? Freaks, Little Vicious?
There you go. But he was 16 at the time, and Columbia Records didn't want him making a record stand running for the police.
Right.
So they removed him off the song. Now, Easy Mo B and Tupac are riding around the city listening to our demo. Mind you, Easy Mo B wasn't producing us at the time. We did that on our own. So he's going up to East West to do, I think, a Brandy I Want to Be Down remix.
Okay.
Takes Tupac with him. They go up there. The guy asks, the A&R guy asks Easy Mo B, does he have any groups? At this time, Easy Mo B doesn't have any groups. But he got our demo tape. And he knows he's going to meet up with us later.
Right.
All of a sudden, when they leave that meeting, we got a record label. We got a record deal set up. Right off that. And plus, Tupac was vouching saying, who haven't met us yet, yeah, I'm going to do a record with them so they good. Like, make sure they do it. So, now, since Little Vicious is off the record, Easy Mo B and them need a reggae person to fill that slot. Who did he call? He called me. Yo, G, see what you can do to get somebody to get on the spot. He's like, oh, is it your guy Brown Man, who was on the R&B singer's Joe's first single called I'm in Love? Look it up. Joe's first single ever, I'm in Love, has my guy Brown Man on it.
Man.
We called Brown Man and let him know he about to do a song with Tupac. You think he believed us? It took us 2 hours to convince him and buy him some weed.
Right.
That he was going to do a song with Tupac. He went to the studio with us anyway because he just thought we were trying to get him to come to the studio with us.
Right.
Tupac comes in the studio. My man loses his mind. Yo was lying. Tupac comes up, thanks us, sits us down, talks to us for hours, straight about brotherly love and being black and the power of young black guys working together. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
Goes in, does his verse. Now, if you listen to Apocalypse now, and any of his music afterwards, you will see that he recorded a certain way on Tupacalypse now, and then he recorded a different way after that.
Wow, man.
The reason why a lot of his records are still strong and still stays to this day because how he records. Tupac will rap his verse, rap another verse on top of that, then do ad-libs to make it a lot more stronger.
Right, and tighter, right,
We didn't know that. You do your verse, ad-libs, and you done.
And you finish, right.
But when we saw that, and then him asked us, is it good enough? We ain't put out a record nationally yet.
Right.
I sure as hell didn't say anything at first. But my guy Todd, who was in my group, sat next to me. He was like, nah, you need to do that over. I was like, yeah. Then I was like, yeah, you need to do it over.
Right.
But the fact that a guy at that status asking the room, and especially us,
yes,
should he do it over?
Man.
Showed you what kind of person he was.
Definitely, man. So you met, Jay-Z, Kane, met Tupac, Easy Mo B.
Easy Mo B is my friend. That's the difference. I consider Kane my friend, who guys I know, right? The other guys like Jay-Z, I met him. I don't have a relationship with him. There's a difference. So I don't just go around just dropping names. Tupac as well.
Yeah.
Introduced myself, whatever, but Easy Mo B was the plug and was my friend. That was why I was able to meet these guys and be in the studio with them.
Man, that you are dropping the mic, Glenn. Hey, Glenn, you might have that. You got basketball heads. Now we gotta have hip hop heads too, man.
Listen, but here's the deal. When we was first talking about doing the podcast, that's what everybody was trying to, not my friends, but everybody else. Because I also used to put out DVDs as well. I did a whole bunch of stuff. So I just didn't want to do the cliche. It was just like too cliche. Yeah, right? That's what everybody expect. Nobody expected me to go back to my essence.
Yes, right.
How everybody got to know me. Everybody got to know me like the majority of people got to know me through basketball. And then there's another slew of people who know me from music, who don't know anything about the basketball world.
Wow.
Right? So I lived a few lives. Absolutely. But back to you, my brother. Last few couple of questions, right?
Okay.
Who are the best high school, college, and NBA player you played against? 3 people.
High school, Kenny Anderson, bar none. Even though he was a freshman, again, he won MVP. He won MVP, state championship, and he didn't start. Every game he came off the bench.
They didn't win a state championship that freshman year. Probably was his sophomore year.
No,
they didn't win it the freshman year.
87.
87 was his sophomore year.
No, it's freshman year.
His freshman year, I'm telling you, we beat them.
Well, I don't know. Well, it had to be 87, Glenn, because that's when I graduated.
Listen,
he was a freshman.
I'm going to tell you, I got the article. In 86, we won the city championship, then we went up to Glen Falls. They won the city championship. Because we went up to Glen Falls and we beat them and we beat Our Savior Lutheran. We lost to Binghamton. We lost to Binghamton in the state championship in Kenny freshman year in 86.
Okay, so that's 86, but I'm saying 87. That's the well, I don't well yeah.
His top 87 was his sophomore year. Want me to show you?
I don't know about that, Glenn. Then that can't be. Glenn,
Yo,
that can't be, dog.
Yo, listen, hold on. Look, I'm gonna show you. I can show you better than I can tell you.
Because 87, I'm a senior. He's a freshman. Maybe he was
87, we were both seniors.
Right.
Kenny was a sophomore then. Trust me. I'm gonna show you right now. In 86, we both got our teams. Look. That's Lincoln and that's Malloy.
Now, look. I'm looking now. I got a feeling, Malloy. I don't think Kenny Anderson's in that picture in 86.
Yo, I interview. Listen, go back, watch the Kenny Anderson interview. He will tell you, yo, we look past y'all. My biggest regret my freshman year was losing to you guys.
So wait a second. So he was a sophomore when he played against me? I'm thinking he's a freshman.
Yeah. No, he was a freshman playing against you as well, but that in 87 he was a sophomore. The year we graduated, he was in 10th grade. He was busting our ass as a freshman, fam. Yes.
Right.
But when I went to prep school, I left Lincoln in that 87 year.
Right.
I went to Maine Central.
Right. That's
Kenny
right.
was a sophomore then.
Wow.
Right.
All right.
Let's get back to your list. Kenny High School. Who in college?
College. Lionel Simmons. Simmons was a great player at LaSalle. Scored over 3,000 points at LaSalle. 3,000.
I watched him play. He was a beast.
He was a beast. I'll tell you a quick story about him real quick, Glenn. I'm playing against him my freshman year. We're playing at Draddy. You know how you had to shoot around? This guy's coming up the stairs with 2 hot dogs, right? And he's, oh, what's going on, fellas? 2 hot dogs, right? We tell Coach. We say, Coach, man, yo, we got Lionel Simmons. Yo, he taking us light, man. He got 2 hot dogs eating. Then Coach had a pregame speech. He said, yeah, you know, Lionel Simmons, LaSalle, they taking you light and everything. He had 45 that day. 45.
He was a beast.
He was
different. He was different. He was
definitely different, man. He was definitely different. Now, pro? Like pros. I used to play against Mark Jackson sometimes, like in the Dykeman, like the Dykeman leagues. Played against him, the pro-ams. Trying to see pros. Yeah, Mark Jackson was one. Man, it's been so many people, man, that I can know of, man. I'm, just playing against them and, not overseas, anything like that, but just like in summer leagues, I'm just trying to think. Well, Mark Jackson was one. Damn, I forget off the top, man. But those are the guys I remember from high school and college.
That's legit. All those are New York City legends, man. Like those are official. Yeah.
Yes.
So have you been keeping up with New York City basketball?
Not so much, man. I know it's it's a different era. These kids don't even go out here and play ball, man. Out here, man, it's just totally different, man. It's a different thing, man. These kids aren't built the way we were built. I'm not saying we were all that, but still, I mean, it was some acumen, some basketball like knowledge that's not out here anymore. You know what I mean? And it looks like a lot of the kids from New York, they go to other places now. They don't really star here. So I watch it here and there. College and high school here and there, but it's definitely different vibe, different kid.
Wow. We got Joe Jackson in the building. What up, Joe? And we got Code 31 Media. Salute to you doing your thing. Yeah, we are just trying to make that connection, right? I hear a lot of guys You know, I go on, they chose to be like, you know, the basketball dudes at school. They interview a lot of the older guys. Right. And I don't mind that because there's so many basketball players in New York City. Right? Absolutely. My thing, I want to kind of get the older guys, because we don't know, especially with this pandemic that went on, how much time a lot of the guys have. So I want to get the guys while they're here, right? Get them while they're vibrant. And then also move up in the era, but also trying to preserve this history. We got a website coming soon. We'll be moving to YouTube soon and different platforms. But it's just about preserving that history. You know what I'm saying? That's so important to me right now. It's not about competing with anybody else. I'm not in the race with anybody else. I have a career, really. I'm good.
Yeah, you're in your own lane.
There you go. That's it. Got my artist back there, and he's a ball player who's an artist, right? So it's not like you got somebody. He played for Jackson.
Yeah, man. Okay.
You know,
Andrew Jackson.
Yes, he was the last group that played with Granby. And salute RP to Coach Granby.
Oh, speaking of Andrew Jackson, man. So this reminded me something now. We asked me high school player I played against Lloyd Daniels at Andrew Jackson. We scrimmaged him. He played every position on the court. He gave us 45 too. Lloyd Sweet Pete Daniels.
Yo, did he shoot with both hands against y'all?
He probably did, man.
Yo, salute to my guy Lloyd. Lloyd texts me a Bible verse every day. Wow. Very inspirational. You know, I'm not going to say I read them all because a lot of times I'm at work, but I get them. And I always appreciate and thank my brother just for thinking about me and sending me something. And he sends me it every day. So salute to the legend Lloyd Daniels, salute my guy.
Sweet pea, man.
We're going to get him on here soon. We're going to get him on here soon. Everybody always asks.
Yes, I'm going to tune in for that.
Yeah, we come to that moment, Russ, when, you know, my guy, he left, so I can show you the picture now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. We want to do that and make sure it came out right, which I know it did.
Okay.
All right. Ready? Oh, look, just like you too, fam.
Oh, yo! Oh, man. Hey, Glenn. Man. Wow.
Hey, look, what's your number, fam?
Oh, man. That's fire. Hey, Glenn, it's like your lyrics, you go hard, he goes hard.
That's it. That's the only way I know how to go, my brother.
Hey, Glenn, can I get a copy of that, man? Can you sign that? Can I get a copy of that? So, hey, I gotta get that. That's fire. Oh, man, you won the versus battle. You won that one on that. You dropped the mic on that, man. That's it.
Listen, yo, I got you, Joe. Trust me, I got you. I got you, Joe. Just let me know. We can meet up and get it. And to all my people out there who have received pictures, and I'm going to put this out, I'm going to cut this out and make it just for them. Okay. I need you guys to repost the pictures that we give you guys. Because what's going to happen is everybody else is going to take a long time to get those until I see people start to repost them. Because my guy work hard back here to make sure that you guys are good.
He go hard.
And you can have it forever. And that's all we ask. Repost. You know, I got my guy Tony Childs reposted his, James Majors reposted his.
Tony Childs. Right? Yes.
That's what we need, fam. We need that fair exchange. And I know my man Russ is gonna do the same with him.
I'm going hard. I'm going hard, man. That's it. It's a done deal.
For sure. Yo, and since we're talking about the music, my guy AB Money just entered the room, right? And all of those stories for us, being in Kane House, being with Easy Mo B. It was through my guy AB Money, who I met playing basketball.
Wow.
AB used to play for Sarah J. Hell when I started playing for Lincoln. My cousin, who was his best friend, told him that, yo, you need to meet my cousin because my cousin is nice. Right? And we used to go over there and battle. AB was good, but of course, I had to go over there and show him that Lincoln run things. But AB, one of my greatest friends in the world, my brother, salute to you. Appreciate you.
Hey,
man,
Glenn, I got one more.
I'm here. I ain't going nowhere for you. I'm right here.
My boy Marlon Miller, who you played with, right?
Yes. Need him on the show.
Yes, my junior year, Monsignor McClancy. We had a half a day, so I go back to his house in Stuyvesant Town in Manhattan. We decide to make a song. We wrote some lyrics, and we was rapping to Tila Rock's "It's Yours," right? We rhyming on, like, you know those CB mics, you know, when people had the CBs? We were rhyming on that. We make a little cut. I do my verse, he does his verse. We tape it. So what do, Glenn? I take that tape and I bring it with me to Manhattan College. He takes his tape and brings it to St. Joe's. And like, yo, we play it amongst our teammates and everything. And like to this day, yo, they still remember those tapes. We called it rapping with Russ and Marley Marl. My nickname used to be Hot Tracks because I had braces. So I called myself Hot Tracks after the show. Remember New York City Hot Tracks?
Yeah.
So I did that. Marley Marl, he did his thing, man. And I remember the verse, man. You want me to sing my verse? I remember the verse like it was nothing.
Bet. Let me hear it.
All right. It's a quick one. I said, I'm just walking through traffic like I'm Jesus Christ, not Crockett or Tubbs or Miami Vice. I paid the price. I'm stupid nice, and I'm gonna eat you up like beans and rice. I did the job. The job is done. Come on, Marley Marl, let's have some fun. That was
it. Yo, that's so dope, yo.
Yes.
And we talking about late 80s people, so that was the cadence of the lyrics back then.
Absolutely. That was 84, 85. I remember that. Yep.
Wow.
85, 86. Yep. When you was
winning
your championship, that's when I was rocking.
That's right. And look, I was a rapper before I played ball, but the ball kind of took over.
Man, I never knew that, Glenn.
Was always writing. And then when I went in college, you know, I was a DJ for the radio station and did a whole bunch of things. But look, I got my guy, LeVar Folk. Never McClancy break.
That's my guy from McClancy. Yes. That's my guy.
I'm gonna interview him and his son. Get him and his son up here because he's doing some great things with his son. I think he had a great career. So him and his brother. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. LeVar Folk. Yes, salute. McClancy, salute. Yes, indeed.
Listen, McClancy is repping for McClancy tonight. Facts.
That's right. In verses.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I have my guy J. Rob up here as well.
Nice.
Jamal Robinson, I had him up here as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, man. Virginia's fine is good dude, man. Good player. A better dude. Yep.
Yeah. Rep 1, I see you, my guy. Always showing love. My guy, Rep 1. Always doing the thing out there in the community.
Nice.
Man, look, bro. Yo, tell you, bro, we're going to do this again, fam.
Absolutely.
I'm coming to your show and show you some love, fam.
Absolutely. Hey, Glenn, salute to you, man. Yo, man, I'm drinking my Wednesday wine. You know what I mean? Salute to you, man. This was a pleasure, man. This was fun.
Yep. And what you can do, we'll talk more after this and whatever. I'll get your address. I'm going to see you something nice. You know what I mean? I'll probably see you playing Game Over Shorts too, man.
Definitely. Oh, my man. Glenn, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and I'm going to rep that picture, man. I'm going to go hard.
You my guy, yo.
Yep, I'm going hard now. Now I'm going hard now. I see that picture. I see my boy T was rapping. I'm going hard from here on out.
Listen, brother, let me tell you something. I appreciate you, brother. You was always a good brother back then.
Thank you, man.
Knew that good things was going to happen for you.
Thank you, man. vice versa.
And I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you, Russ. Just want to say that, brother.
Man, thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad Rebel got us connected, man. You know, man. So shout out to Reb, man. Yeah, man. I'm glad. I'm glad I came on, man. I had a blast, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. All right, I'm gonna holler at you, man, and let's stay in contact. All right.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate you, man.
No doubt. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Yeah. You assist to world chaos. Where everybody goes.
What up, Brandon?